Alright, update on that last video. It took forever to upload, so I'm going to split the rest of the review into 2 more, hopefully 5 or to 10-minute videos. So there's this video and then 1 more. So this video we're going to do number 12 and number 15. So if you guys can get your review out, zoom into number 12, that's where we're going to start. So number 12 is a fraction plus a fraction, which means the denominators need to be the same. So the first thing we need to do is to find a common denominator. So we have to write this out too. So we're going to grade you based on whether or not you write out your common denominator, what your common denominator is. So the first thing you look at is the numbers 2 and the number 3. If you just had a 2 and a 3 in the denominator, what would the common denominator be? The smallest number that they both go into, and that would be 6. So we've got our 6. And then what is the most number of x's that we need? Since they each only have 1 x, the most number of x's that we need is 1. So our common denominator is 6x. So we need to change this, so then this fraction is going to become something new over something new. And we know that the bottom is going to be 6x. And then this fraction over here is going to become something over something, and we know that the bottom is 6x. So we need to multiply this side times something on the top and the bottom, and we need to multiply this side times something on the top and the bottom. 2x times 3 will get you 6x, so we need to multiply 3 over here. Okay. Alright, and then, so the bottom becomes 6x and the top becomes 3x plus 9. Oh, I forgot my plus sign. Plus 9. Okay, that's because I multiplied the 3 times the x and times the 3 right there. Okay, so then on this side over here on the right side, 3x times something equals 6x. That's going to get us our 6x, which is 2, right? Okay, so actually I'm going to erase that arrow so no one's confused. So 3x times 2 will get you 6x, so we need to multiply 2 on the top as well. So remember to multiply it through, so we should get 2x plus 10. So then we can add them as one big fraction over 6x, our common denominator. So 3x plus 2x is 5x, and 9 plus 10 is 19. And that is, we can try to factor, make sure we can, if we can't factor anything out, this is our final answer. So is there a greatest common factor on the top here? Is there anything we can factor out? 5x plus 19? No. And then the bottom is 6x, and you can't cancel anything. You cannot cancel the x on the top and the bottom because the top is attached to a bunch of other things. So this is your final answer for number 12. So you can write that in there. And we are going to move on to number 15. So number 15 is very similar, where you have to find a common denominator, and we don't know what it is, okay? Common denominator. We have a 2, we have an r plus 4. They don't match at all. There's nothing at all that matches between those two, so we can just multiply the 2 together. 2r plus 4, like that, okay? You multiply the 2 times the r plus 4. Because there's nothing smaller that they both go into. Okay, so we know that our new fraction is going to be something over 2r plus 4, and the same thing over here, plus 2r plus 4. Okay, so now we need to multiply this 2 times something to get us 2r plus 4, and that will be r plus 4. And we also need to multiply the same thing on the top. Oh, that should be a 4. So we multiply 8 times both of those things, and we get 8r plus 32. And then over here on this side, we need to multiply r plus 4 times something to get 2r plus 4 down here, right? So we are going to multiply by, you're right, a 2. And we multiply by a 2 on the top, and we are going to get 4. Okay, so then we can add them together now, and we just leave the bottom the same, 2r plus 4, don't multiply it out, leave it like that, and then we can multiply the top, add the top, so we've got our 8r, nothing to add to the 8r, and then we have plus 32 plus 4, so plus 36. Now this is one where we're not done. We can't square that, put a square around that yet because we're not done. We can factor stuff out of the top, okay? And what is the biggest thing that we can pull out of the top? And it is a 4. We can pull out a 4 from the top and leave 2r plus 9 on the inside, okay? And then on the bottom we're going to leave it the same. That's why we don't multiply the bottom through. That's why we never multiplied this 2 through, because then we wouldn't be able to cancel it with this 4. Okay, so the 4, we divide them both by 2, this becomes a 2 over 1. So our final answer is that 2, and then our 2r plus 9, and then the 1, which we don't need to write, and the r plus 4, and now it's as simplified as it can get. So that is our final answer, okay? All right, and I'm not going to do number 16 with you, but I do want to give you a hint on it. So number 16 says, determine the values for which the expression is undefined. The expression is undefined when the denominator equals 0. That is when the expression is undefined. So what are we going to do? We are going to set up our denominator, and we are going to set that equal to 0. And that, you're going to solve for x, and that x value is when, well, don't be confused by that box. That's just the answer you're going to get in the end. That x value right here is when